Going live right now. The audio streams. No. All right, I believe we're live. Let me just pause this for. All right. Can you all hear me? Just give me a hello real quick. If you can hear me, we should be starting in about 1 second. Showtime. All right, cool. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Scooter Chat Live number, geez Louise, number 24. We got a very, yeah, good. Everybody can hear me. Hello, man. Everybody's showing up for the show today. I even forgot to put on my sweater. I had this sweater I was going to put on. Hey, Douglas. Hey, little Evan. Robert from, man, I know you guys, a lot of you guys are in the Facebook group, and I see you guys on here a lot. So it's really good to see everybody jumping in on here, and I'm glad that we all can hear me. So I'm gonna get started. So this is episode 24 of Scooter Chat Live. As you can see, we have the legendary 09, what we have had on our website for a long time as the best scooter under $1,200. It also is probably the best all-around scooter under 45 pounds, and it's 40 pounds. Today in the show, I'm going to talk about why the 09 is actually, and I've never really said this before, but it's the best scooter for me. It's the best scooter for me personally, and I'll kind of tell you why. It's an individual choice because there's no perfect scooter out there, right? It's a perfect scooter for you or me in this case. We're also going to, REVRIDES has graciously given us, and just for our viewers, an exclusive coupon code that's going to save y'all $100. I think that's already in the video description, and we'll go over that a little bit later. Also, and this is our first time ever having a live guest via Skype. So Nathan and Tyler, so the CEO and the operations specialist for REVRIDES, is going to be on live. We're going to call them up in about 10 or 15 minutes. And so we hope that this works. You know, it's harder than it looks to have somebody on live on Skype while we're live streaming, and all the audios and me hearing them without echo. It's going to be interesting. I hope it works. We'll see. Finally, we're going to be premiering our video review of the 09. We spent probably a little more than 2 weeks doing all the research, writing it, doing all the performance tests, and we will premiere the video review of the 09 at 6 o'clock sharp. It's already set to premiere. The link for that should be in the video description, and may even be in the top comment if I remember to do that. But someone can probably post it in the live chat for all you guys that are in the live chat. My goodness. We'll also be taking questions throughout the show. So, so RevRides, Nathan, I know Nathan and Tyler do want to take your questions. So we need to get through some stuff first. So I'm just going to keep rolling through. The mission of the Electric Scooter Guide is to help you find the perfect scooter for you. We do this show live every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And then today, of course, we've got our premiere at 6 o'clock. Please join our community. If you're here watching this, hit the subscribe button so that you can get all of our latest content. If you're on Instagram, make sure to follow us on Instagram. And then finally, if you have Facebook, if you don't mind, Zuckerberg selling all your information, then join our Facebook group. Make a fake account to join our Facebook group. That's what I do. But you can find us in the Facebook group constantly. Basically, it's the best place after this show to ask your questions. So definitely jump in there. The links to all those things are in the video description, so do that. Okay, speaking of Facebook, every Friday on our Facebook group, we do Photo Friday. And for the third time in a row, Mark Carlos has won the hat trick. I'm going to take my hat off to you, Mark. You've won 3 times in a row for this image, which is pretty awesome. It's the 08. It's an Australian sunset. Mark is a New South Wales guy, and he takes great photos. So he won the photo contest again for the 3rd time. Someone needs to beat him next week. Also, I just thought it would be really cool as an honorable mention that Franco Mohe has a really cool image of his riding group. I believe it's in the Philippines, but check out this image. He's got his riding group called the Caborcads. I guess I'm saying that right. Anyway, yeah, very cool image. Anyway, join our Facebook group, and we do different things like this all the time. But it's also really good for just asking questions and stuff like that, getting info on what scooter to buy and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and then also don't email us for scooter questions because I don't answer them anymore. Basically, we just ask you to join the Facebook group and ask the questions there. That way, everybody can get value from your question, right? Okay. A couple news items. So our next releases for scooters, the next one's going to be the So of course, this week we've got the 09, which is awesome. Next week will be the GoTrax XR Ultra, which is a brand new scooter. I don't think anybody actually has this scooter yet. I just rode it for the first time last week. So we're going to have that next week, followed by the Mantis Pro. We're going to have the eMoose Touring after that, and then the E2 GT. Those are the next 4 scooters coming from us, so always stay tuned. Next up, Micromobility America. So Micromobility America is coming up on April 22nd and 23rd. I went to it last year. It's in Richmond, California. So if anybody is, a Northern California Bay Area person interested in micromobility, I hope you'll meet me there because I'll be there. I went there last year. It was fantastic. Really just get a really wide view of just the whole micromobility industry. That that really is like the number one place to go if you're interested in this revolution that is micromobility that's happening basically all over the world. Next up, Techcrunch Mobility, right? That is coming up a little bit after May 14th in San Jose. I'll be there as well. Again, if you end up coming and if you watch the show, it'd be cool to meet up, have a coffee or something. So Techcrunch Mobility coming up May 14th. I'll be there. I don't have any. I'm just another person. What do you call it? Someone attendee. I'll just be an attendee. But if anybody from our little community goes, definitely hit us up and we can try to meet up somewhere. Last bit of news, the Fluid FREERIDE winter sale is still going. We have some exclusive coupon codes with Fluid FREERIDE. That is on 2 of our favorite scooters, the Mantis and the Wolf Warrior. The Mantis base is $150 discount right now. The Pro is a $250 discount. And the Wolf Warrior, it has a $700 discount. So those are some of the biggest discounts ever on those products from a legit seller in the US where you're actually going to get service. Also, they up their warranty across the board to 6 months, which kind of puts them in line with everybody else. So that's really good. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about the 09 before we get Nathan and Tyler on Skype here. And I see like while I do this, if anybody has any particular questions, it looks like everybody's kind of chatting away, which is great. But if you have questions for me, just mention me, and our producer will try to get me those questions. But really, let's go over the scooter. Number one, the most important point here is that the scooter is, you know, it is, so let's just go over the basics. It's $1,099. However, we have a coupon code. I don't want to mention it on the show because, like, if you watch this after the coupon code is not valid, you may not get the full discount. But right now we do have a coupon. I think it's good for at least the show, maybe for a week or two. Anyway, it should be about $100 discount. Look in the video description for that coupon code. They have never done, at least not recently, done this much of a discount, so this will be really nice. So the 09 is actually the perfect scooter for me. And the reason I say that, I've got, you can't see it, but to my right, there's 30 something scooters, all scooters we've done reviews and testing and all this stuff on. And while there are giant scooters that have more power and more features and go further and everything else that you can imagine, and of course there's scooters that are smaller and don't go as far and don't have as much power. When it comes to finding the perfect scooter for any one person, what I always tell people is that you have to find the right weight for you, right? So for me, because I live upstairs, the right weight for me is 40 to 45 pounds. And I've tested scooters at 50, at 55, at 20, 22 pounds. I don't mind carrying up and down my stairs a scooter that's up to 45 pounds. If it's over 45 pounds, I find myself not using that scooter as much. And this is, again, this is my own situation. And your situation is probably different than mine. So for me, I'm looking for scooters that are 40 to 45 pounds. So the 09 fits that because the 09 is 40 pounds, right? But there's other scooters that are 40 pounds as well. So the next thing that I do, right, once I hone in on the weight, right, and you can do this too, if you go onto the electric scooter comparison page, you can actually filter by weight. So you can say, hey, I want to do max 55 pounds, or maybe you don't have stairs and you can do something that's 80 pounds, or you have no max, whatever, right? You get the Dualtron X. But for me, it's 40, right? If you look at all scooters that are around 40 pounds or less, then I go and I look for the best safety features, right? So what I want are dual pneumatic tires, right? Because they're safer, they have better performance, they have better traction, they're more comfortable because you get damping. So the 09 has those dual pneumatic tires. You also have double redundant. You have three brakes, right? You have a lot of scooters, right? Only have like one brake. And if you're going over 20 miles an hour, we always want you to have more than one brake. So the 09 has the front disc, which you can see right here. It has a rear drum, and then it also has electronic brakes that you can modify the strength of that in the P settings, which we also have a link to the P settings on our website. So the stopping distance, right, is really important for your safety. And so we do all the performance tests on the scooter. The stopping distance was amazing at just 10.2 feet. It's, I believe, the fourth quickest stopping distance that we've ever recorded. The lowest I think we ever got was like 9.1 feet. And actually all the scooters were heavier scooters with larger brakes. So for what this is, right, for a 40-pound scooter, fantastic stopping power and 3 brakes. So like one brake goes out, you know, something happens, whatever. It's always good to have that extra brake. I was riding a Xiaomi one time and the darn thing, I lost my disc brake, but I still had the e-brake, but not that does that much. Anyway, so you've got 3 brakes. For comfort, right, you've got dual suspension. So again, the suspension is not like the 010X, which has some of the best suspension ever. But it does have good suspension for somebody that is my weight. Along with the suspension, right, those 2 pneumatic tires also help for overall damping. And then finally, something that we're looking at more and more as time goes on, but it has one of the largest decks that's available. And so, there are scooters that are bigger that actually have smaller and narrower decks. And we're not going to mention which one those are, but there are competitors, very, very close competitors to 0 that have a quite narrow deck, which is actually my main problem with some of these other scooters. Because when you're riding, you don't want to be cramped. You don't want your feet to be cramped up. And when you're going fast and you're braking hard, you want a wide stance on a scooter so that it's comfortable for you to ride. So this deck, I believe, is like 21 or 22 inches long by 7.7 inches wide, which is again, like it's really comfortable. You also have room, you'll see here in a second, but you have room behind the deck so that actually your heel can stick out and you actually get further than that 21 or 22 inches. Motor, right? Motor 600 watts nominal, 1200 watts max, right? It's a single motor scooter, so it's, you know, it's average power. It's not a dual motor scooter, right? It's not like the wide wheel type super fast acceleration. But it still gets to 15 miles an hour in 4.2 seconds and to 20 miles an hour in 7.1 seconds, which kind of fits right in there. And it definitely is faster than a 500 watt motor, which you'll find on 08, Turbo Wheel Swift, Fluid Freeride, Horizon, those guys. It is faster than all of those. For top speed, it actually is a fast scooter. It doesn't, you know, it gets up to about 20 miles an hour pretty quick, right? 7 seconds. It does take a while once you hit 20 to kind of get to that top speed. And, you know, if you have a headwind, like you're not really going to get there. But on flat ground, we got this to 28.4 miles per hour. If you're on a slide downhill, you can actually get a little bit over 30 miles an hour. And this is all with me testing. I'm 165 pounds. The upgrade of the 09 is the LG battery. So that is a recent addition. I know a lot of people don't want the sync power batteries. So REVRIDES now threw in the LG battery standard on the scooter. It's not an upgrade. No matter what you buy, boom, that you'll get the LG battery. We got over 20 miles of range. We actually got exactly 21.7 miles of range. Just so you know, also for all these stats, if you want to compare them against any other scooter, just go to our comparisons page. A link to all of that is in the video description. Another cool thing, so a couple more things, and then we'll get to Tyler and Nathan, I hope, is you've got and this is one of my favorite things because actually I ride home at night. So we have an office here. I ride my scooter every day. Why would I drive? Unless I need to carry a bunch of stuff and it doesn't fit in my backpack. So I rode my scooter today, but I'm also going to ride my scooter home today, right? And so sun's going down early. I need to be safe at night. This scooter is actually pretty cool. The lights that kind of come on at night, you can see them here in the image. But we have some night riding shots in the video review that's coming up. But it has blue underdeck lighting and stem lighting as well. So at night, cars can actually see you really well. We still recommend getting an aftermarket high-mounted front light as well as a high-mounted rear light because no scooter can have a high-mounted rear light because that's just the form factor of scooters. But like, you don't typically find this much kind of like cool LED features on a scooter either at this weight or at this price. I think, I could mention some close ones, but nothing nothing this good. Oh, there we go. We got an image of what the lights kind of look like on there. And then finally, the last thing I'll mention is the REVRIDES customer service. What we're doing as kind of a electric scooter guide, part of our job is to like protect consumers and try to help you guys not get burned, basically, right? Not find the right AliExpress company that you can save $100 and then, you know, something happens with your scooter and you're out of luck for 2 or 3 months and then you email me and then I tell you to not email me anymore. But so REVRIDES is different, right? So with REVRIDES, and there's probably a good handful of scooters that are in this kind of elite tier of customer service. The difference with REVRIDES is they're one of the few that still has a phone number. So I think there's only 2 or 3 companies left in the United States that are even US sellers where you can literally find their phone number on their website and call them. REVRIDES is one of those people. And we talk a little bit about that in the review. Also, our anonymous email test, if we did this 6 months ago, they had a pretty good response time of under a day. It was actually just 4.3 hours, I believe. And then finally, I also believe, along with the phone number, they're the only company that actually gets all the scooters, opens them up, does a whole quality control check. I know their owner Nathan is like, that's his background is like. I'm gonna say this wrong. We'll have to ask him what his background because I'm gonna say it wrong. It has something to do with like quality control with Chinese parts, so it's like very closely related to like the electric scooter industry and what needs to be happening. Because in electric scooters, 5 to 10% is about the rate that you get kind of issues, and that's on the best of any scooter. It's a new industry, right? The supply chain is just not all that well developed compared to like bicycles, for instance, that have been around for 100 years. So having someone that's going to support you is like as important as getting a good scooter, I think. So anyway, they check your scooter for the brakes. This is the first scooter that I've gotten where the brakes were perfectly adjusted. They also will change your P settings. So this is the first scooter where cruise control was turned off, which we always recommend. And the darn thing was actually in imperial, right, rather than metric, because these all come from China. So like the default is metric. So when the scooter is coming from, drop ship from China to you, because they're not, all your settings are going to be like that. So anyway, those are things that I appreciate because they help the buyers, I think, right? It helps this industry to become just more evolved and like ready for mass adoption, right? It's we're going as an industry, right? We're kind of early adopter. We're going towards mass adoption, or at least early adopters have been finished, and more and more people are getting scooters all the time. We need companies that are going to support their customers, and REVRIDES is one of the few that does a good job with that. All right, I think let me just see if there's let me just take a quick water break. Are we ready to get REVRIDES on? Cool. Let me just plug in my headphones here. All right. Can you all hear me? All right, I think we're live.
I'm gonna turn it down as soon as.
I think we're.
All right.
Nathan, Tyler, are you guys there?
Can you all hear me?
Hello.
All right, I think we're live.
I'm gonna turn it down as
Yes?
soon
I'm getting an echo, guys.
All right. Nathan, Tyler.
Hey, Chuck.
Hey.
Hey, guys. We
All
can't
right.
we can't see you on our screen, but
Turn on.
We can see ourselves.
Webcam. Ramir in the Skype. Can you turn on the webcam? Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Can you guys just turn down your volume a little bit? I'm getting
Yeah,
my own
now-
echo. Let's test this one more time.
All right, can you hear us,
Can you
Chuck?
hear us now?
Yes. Let me see if I can hear myself. Perfect.
Perfect.
Sweet.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you guys for being on the show. I want to introduce y'all to the, Electric Scooter Guide viewers. So on, I don't know if it's I guess the right side of the screen would be Nathan, who's the CEO of REVRIDES and founder. And then Tyler is on the middle of the screen to the left side, or I guess it'd be Nathan's right. And he's the operations specialist. And this is our first time ever having anybody live on Skype. So welcome, you guys.
Thanks for having
Thanks.
us.
Yeah, it's glad to be here.
Awesome. So cool. So, I think what we're going to try to do today is our producer will be able to shoot out questions, and I'll get those and we can talk about that. But I also have some questions that I kind of wanted to ask you guys as well. So yeah, unless you have any questions, for me, I guess this is not really an interview, but
No, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll let you start.
Cool. Yeah. So, okay. So a lot of interesting stuff. I hear things from, the Reddit and the Facebook group and all this stuff. And so I have heard that, that there is a competition between, Zero and Cabo. And I think there's even a video, somewhere about.
We can't talk about that.
Yeah, can't talk about that. I wonder if we can pull up this video. Here we go. Let me see here. Yeah, so there's this video. Check this out. And as you can see, Zero and Cabo are in the same exact parking lot. What what's up with that? What's going on with Cabo and Zero? Are you guys like duking it out in the parking lot every day, or what's
They're
going on?
best friends. So no, yeah, it was an interesting discovery for me when I went to China. Along with the owner of the Zero brand, and to see that probably their closest competitor is literally in the same parking lot. When you're in the Zero factory, you look out the window and there's the Cabo factory, and it's a interesting dynamic. I mean, maybe it's like the battle for the muscle cars back in the '60s, where like you've got all the big names fighting for the biggest, fastest product they're launching, and here they are side by side, like duking it out for the best scooter. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
interesting, but yeah.
Yeah,
Enough.
yeah. No, I just,
Oh,
I know they've got their Skywalker series, and we've worked with some of them, and they kind of match up, but it's interesting to see that they're kind of in the same
Yeah.
little area there.
And
Yeah,
another, I guess, a point on that is competition is good. It helps everybody in the industry, right? RevRide's better, but it also, makes Zero better. It makes Cabo better. And everybody that's benefiting is the consumer, right? Which is the whole purpose of this industry, right? We think it's a good industry. We think it's powerful. It's effective. It's inexpensive. So the competition's good.
yeah. Well, what are your guys' favorite scooters to ride? Just I mean, you obviously have the Zero scooters. I don't know if you've checked out other ones, but what are your guys' kind of favorite scooters, and why? I guess that's a good question.
first.
You go first.
Okay, so definitely the 8X is definitely my favorite right now. It's definitely a lot stiffer feeling than any of the other. Like the 10X is a nice cruiser to me, but the 8X feels it's faster off the line, very firm and in control. Definitely the 8X.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we've done a video on the 8X. We called it the Street Fighter, that it punches
Yeah.
above its weight class because it's
Yeah.
got such good performance.
Yep.
Yep. The 10X,
Uh-huh.
just more power. Like Tyler said, it's really like riding on a cloud. It's cushy. Um, I think it's great. Now it's what we would normally say it's like a single mode vehicle. It's not really effective for like taking to the bus station, getting on the bus, riding into town, getting off the bus. It's too big, too heavy.
Yeah.
An 8X is a little smaller.
Yeah.
It might be okay for, but that's really where you want to look at the 9, possibly a 10 if you're using multi-mode transportation.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to all the viewers. Our next door neighbor is vacuuming right now. I'm sorry. It'll go away in just a couple minutes. This is, you know, we don't own our own building like Zero does yet.
No, where's your cat?
What's that?
Where's your cat?
we
need an interruption for
actually,
your cat.
you know what, like we actually got an office about a month ago. We got this very inexpensive, very small office, and so the cat hasn't come here yet, so we will bring the cats out for a future show. We just need to get a litter box out here so that the scooter don't become poop scooters or whatever. I was gonna say also about the 8X is that there's somebody in our Facebook group that actually measured out the 8X that wanted it for public transportation. He actually measured, I guess the how much room he had under the seat so that it could fit under his seat. I think he's in New York. I'm not going to mention his name. And actually, the 8X works really well for that person. So I mean, everybody has their own use case, and yeah, I love the 10X as well. It was actually one of our first scooters. I know when we went on our West Coast road trip, we reached out and you guys gave us a 10X to take on the trip, and that was one of the first power scooters I ever rode. And it's still, for suspension, I don't think anything really touches it in terms of like floating on a cloud and all that. For me, right, like I mentioned before, I do live upstairs and our office is upstairs. And so, having to go up and down the stairs, 6, 7, 8, sometimes, 8 times a day, 77 and 73 pounds, which I believe are the two weights of the 8X and the 10X. It's like, I can do it, but but the
Yeah.
09, it's like, it doesn't bother me at all to take it up and down stairs. So, you know, I guess like I do like the 10X probably better. But you know, we'll see. Speaking of, you know, 8 and then 10, what's up with the 11X?
Oh, okay. So I guess maybe a little bit more background on the factory. Um, we're constantly working with the factory, and particularly Falcon Pev.
Mm-hmm.
They're the owner of the Zero brand, and the factory contacted them back in 2017 asking for some help because they weren't getting much traction with the product they had developed, trying to sell it to the market. So he's the one who kind of partnered with the factory, worked on a full product line,
Yep.
and what they're trying to do is constantly release something new, right? So that we had when Falcon started working with them, they had one product, and then when I met Falcon in 2018, early 2018, they had three products, and they weren't launched to the market yet. And
What were
so
the
I
three?
said, the 8, 9, and the 10.
Okay. Those were the first. Okay.
Yep. And so I was working. I was at Falcon. I was in Singapore and was in Falcon's shop, kind of doing a reconnaissance. I was going to start my own scooter company in the U.S., do my own brand. I was working with China factories. We were launching something, and Victor Falcon said, "Hey, how about you just work with me on Zero because we have nobody in the U.S. and you can be U.S. wholesale and distribution and retail and make Zero popular in the U.S." So through all this partnership or work together, now we have 6 products, and the 11X is our newest. And it's a beast. I rode one in China at the factory, the first demo, the first prototype, and it's amazing. It's super heavy. It's fast. But
Tell me
it's
about
not.
it. What does it weigh? How fast does it go?
It goes about 60 miles an hour. I don't know. I don't have all the specs memorized because we haven't actually. We have one on the boat, and it should be here at the end of this week. We have a shipment coming in. We've got a couple pre-orders, so I think I saw one of the pre-order guys on the line. We'll be in touch with you shortly.
I know who that. I think I know who that is. We won't say
But
his name.
I guess for the community, I really want them to know this isn't for everybody. These things are dangerous, and people
Yeah.
do get hurt. And at 60 miles an hour and on an 11-inch tire or something, it's dangerous. It's fast. You should be wearing full motorcycle gear, a very good motorcycle helmet, and what I see generally is people don't wear proper safety gear, and
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. So I'm a little nervous about selling it because I have a company and I care about our customers. I care about our products, and it's a risky product, frankly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
awesome.
This is like half the people are scared that are watching this and half the people are like salivating right now to get to the next fastest thing.
Yeah. I know.
And we want everybody to be safe and wear their helmet and all of these things. And yeah, I mean, we actually on our site, just so everybody watching knows, we have a safety page. There's a main link called Safety, where we show what type of helmet you should wear for what speed, and then you can look at a database and sort and filter by safety and price and all that stuff. So make sure y'all do that. But yeah, I'm excited to try out the 11X whenever that happens, and I'll be wearing more than full safety gear. So, and I'm a chicken. Once I get to like 43 miles an hour, I kind of chicken out.
Yeah.
It's just so fast. Even going 30 miles an hour, I feel like is pretty fast.
Yeah, it really is. And this is like a micro mobility movement, and now we're getting into like mega scooters that are not micro.
Right. Yeah.
It's not really the purpose of this industry that I think their primary use is for.
Yeah, exactly.
Replacing cars in the inner city. And now we've got this tank of a scooter that's, it's cool.
It's cool.
But
yeah,
it's not for micromobility.
Yeah. We got a couple questions from the audience. If you guys don't mind, I'll just like read them out loud, and then we can maybe try to answer, help these folks out. So Mike Lauro is asking, I'm around 250 pounds. Do I have to go with the 010 versus the 09?
Yeah, so I would definitely recommend the 10 over the 9. you know, 1,000 watt motor versus the 600 watt motor on the 9. You're gonna have a lot better time getting up hills. You know, 250 pounds is a lot on an 8.5 inch tire. You're gonna run a lot higher risk of getting flats. Your suspension's not going to be that effective. The 10 is just beefier in every way, and it's going to be able to handle your weight a lot better.
I have a question. You know, a lot of people are like, hey, I'm 210, 220, right? And I know that the weight limit on the 9, right, is 220. And actually, right, our producer, we put him on some of these scooters. I don't know if you guys have met Raymir yet, but yeah, but he was, let me see if he's got a comment on this one. But, well, first let me ask you guys, if you're 220, 210, 230, is 220 really the limit, or is this like a number that just, is it a safety number? Is it a tire pressure number? Or is it a number where you're going to get best performance? Like, why do they say 220? Like, how is that number chosen?
So there are like test machines in these factories. They put weight on them and they run them on a conveyor belt with like these bumps glued to the conveyor belt, and they run them over time, and they've got this thing that they can add weight to it, and they do physically test them. Not all factories, but the better factories do, and they can kind of get in a rough idea of like, okay, we should not put the limit at this spec. Let's put it down here. Mm-hmm. Is a lot of engineering go into these, and a lot of analysis and all that? Yes, to some extent, but not to its fullest extent. It's not like the automotive industry, right? Or even the bike frame industry, because the bike frame industry, they're looking for getting like shaving off just ounces, right?
Yeah.
And want to dial that design in perfectly. Scooters aren't there yet. We want to go there, but we're not there yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me see. Raymir was jumping on many scooters. What do you think, Raymir? What do you think about, like, the suspension, a heavier guy? Like, what do you think about, I don't know which,
Well, I have a lot of opinions. For me, as a heavier rider, I'm always concerned about what can take me and what can really perform at its full capabilities.
Yeah.
Like some scooters, the sound, the speed might slow down because I'm heavier, but the ones that feel good when I'm going over bumps and it doesn't bottom out, like I'm real concerned about that. And for the 09, I'm kind of 240, 235. Yeah. And it's the best looking scooter, so it's just motivation for me to get on the scooter because it looks so good. So I'm trying to ride that one. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, so for Raymir, we put him on the 010 as soon as we get that one in. We'll put him on that and give him a go on that one. Okay, cool. Another question. Let's see. This is from Glenn Tot Vlogs, who always joins up. He says, "Can REVRIDES make a video how to tighten up the vertical stem / steering?" Is there already a video on this, or?
So it depends on where you're talking. There's a couple places where you could make some adjustment. The first one initially is the folding mechanism. There is a really good video by Falcon PEV on how to adjust the folding mechanism to tighten that up, and that's usually where I start. If you've got, I've got a couple customers that have over 1,000 miles on them. There is a joint, the 4 bolts on the top clamp. You can pull that apart and replace there's like a shim inside of there that can be replaced. So it's strictly a wear part. But absolutely, yeah, we can definitely add that to the list to get a video made on how to do that and go from there.
Cool. Next question. Little Ewan is saying, at what weight does a scooter start competing with a Vespa?
Right. I make that argument sometimes, is at what point are they becoming motorcycles? And the argument I get back is I can't park my motorcycle on the sidewalk. So maybe that's where the point will be.
Yeah. I mean, also the Vespa, right? I mean, are there electric Vespas at this point?
Yes. There are.
Okay.
And I guess classification wise, when we import these, the classification is under motorcycles. So we
Interesting.
pay tariffs as if these were motorcycles. So I suppose
Uh-huh.
they are
Uh-huh.
motorcycles technically,
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
according to the.
Um,
When you add a seat, it becomes a Vespa.
There you
okay. That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Um, what's one fact, right? We're talking about, I mean, we've talked about all different scooters. This show was supposed to be about the zero 09, but is there what's a fact about the zero 09 that like most people don't know, or that I don't know, I guess.
Yeah, definitely one that the only thing I could really think of would be the USB charging port. I don't know how many folks have said like, "Oh, I've had my scooter for 6 months and I had no idea that there was a USB port on it." Um, the caveat to that is it's a pretty low output. So I guess it's on the backside of the LCD unit for anybody that doesn't know. It's very low output. Um, Typically you can't charge a phone with it, but you can. We actually had a guy in here today that had like LED light strips that he had wrapped all around his front steering column and was powering them off of the USB port. So you can run LEDs, headlights, things like that off of that USB port.
Very cool. Okay. I knew that, but I didn't know the amperage or anything, and so that is good to know. Yeah, and for anybody looking, well, you can't really see here, but yes, if you look
Yeah.
under your display, and a lot of scooters actually have that too,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's for diagnosing or something.
Really like programming.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Um, Grenchly's asking, does we're going back to scooter max weight because I guess this is an issue for a lot of
Yeah.
people. Um, does a scooter max weight limit include the weight of the scooter with zero brand?
No.
I'm not really sure what the.
So
I mean, I
is
think I understand what that means.
so all the weight ratings are load capacity. So it is strictly the weight of the rider and whatever gear they have.
Okay, not including the scooter.
Not including the scooter. Yep.
Correct.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, next.
We
Go ahead.
we have a guy. We have a guy who's right around 300 pounds who has a 09, and he loves it. And it's definitely over the weight limit. We can't. The frame is not gonna hold up long term. The motors are pushing hard. We don't recommend it, but hey, it has been done.
Cool. Okay. Um, all right. So next question. This is a very recent question, right? So Go Everywhere is asking, my scooter is this is not it's a different scooter than the Zero, right? Is stuck in China due to coronavirus, and
Yeah.
the company isn't working, and the shipping company isn't allowed to fly to Vietnam. Do you guys think that the coronavirus is going to impact the scooter supply?
100%. And it already has.
Oh.
So I was supposed to be on a plane next week to China, and that flight got canceled. I didn't cancel my trip. My wife was asking me to cancel my trip. But I have a business to run and customers that need stuff, and I was going to go anyway. But the plane canceled it. And sure enough, we've got an order that's backlogged. So we're working with Falcon to get product out of Singapore to help support our customers here because we have a need. And you're right, the coronavirus is terrible. It's really severe, and I think some of what we hear on the news is actually less than what the reality is. So yeah, we need to keep the people in China in our thoughts, and it's a severe thing.
So you were supposed to go there, you said, but you canceled your trip because of that.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't cancel it; the airline did.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So are scooters gonna be able to be shipped to the U.S. like generally across the board? I mean,
So when the coronavirus got really bad, they told everybody to extend their Chinese New Year holiday an extra week. I believe there's a week. So none of the factory workers are coming back yet. They were supposed to be back last week. They're not back this week. And then I also heard that when they get back, any depending upon where they came from, what city they're coming from, they might have to go into a 2-week quarantine. Like, I don't know if it's like a makeshift hospital or whatever, but in a 2-week quarantine to make sure they don't get sick before they're allowed to actually go back to work. So we could be looking at another 2 or 3 weeks before any factories are fully up and running.
Probably
So
best case, it sounds like.
It's a, yeah.
Interesting. So you've got, so like you guys and many companies have scooters on hand, right? That like you have your inventory here because I know you guys hold them and you do your QC and you know, all that kind of stuff. But once that's gone, we don't know when the next scooters are gonna get here, because if it's 3 to 4 weeks minimally just for them to make the next batch of scooters, then it takes X amount of weeks for them to get to the US, right?
Oh, for sure. Yep. It's going to be a major problem for us and everybody. We've got, inventory now, but we're getting lower than we want it to be. We've got another shipment that's already at the port. It's cleared customs, and I'm just waiting for the freight carrier to schedule the delivery. And then we have another shipment that we're getting out of Singapore to backfill the fact that the factory can't complete our order right now.
Wow. Okay.
We're getting, it's going to be dry here for a while.
Interesting. How many 09s you guys have left here?
I don't talk about numbers. It's our secret.
Okay. So I'll just mention right now.
It is working. Yes, it is working.
What is working? I'm sorry.
Oh, your discount code is working.
Okay. I was going to ask.
And we'll do our best to keep stock. But I guess, the sooner you order, the better chance you're going to get it.
It goes so fast. I mean, sometimes we blink and I, it says out of stock, and I'm going, how, where did they all go? And they're all leaving on a truck.
Yeah. So what, I mean, I'll say this, cause we've had you guys as kind of, like we've talked about your scooters for, a year or so now. The 09 and other scooters, but more so the 09, I think, than any other, is like the hardest one I know for you guys to keep in stock. At least that's my take. It seems like always on the website, like pre-order, it's going to be X amount, whatever. I think right now you guys actually do have stock, right? It's not like a pre-order. Is that right?
We have stock, and there's more stock arriving in both the shipments. The one that's arriving probably next week, late this week, maybe. Okay. The next shipment. So
okay, and so we'll be good for probably a couple weeks before something happens. And then just so everybody knows, REVRIDES, we always have some coupon code, different places, whatever. REVRIDES is doing a special one just for the people watching right now. This is not QVC, but we do get coupon codes. I know we got the spinning scooter, so it's kind of like QVC, but everybody liked the turntable, so we just kept it. But we do have a $100 discount code, which is the most you're going to find. There is no other better discount on this scooter right now than it's VDAY-ESG, I think, is the coupon code. It's linked in the video description. I think it's a limited time coupon code that they're just doing just because we're featuring the 09 this week on the show. And of course on the reviews coming out tonight at 6. Again, in 13 minutes, I hope everybody that's watching now just jumps right over to the premiere. Somebody could find that link and just throw that in the live chat towards the end of the show, and I'll be in the live chat. Hopefully Tyler and Nathan will be in the live chat. Ramir, I'll make him stay go and check out the live chat too. But okay. That's really interesting info about the whole. I didn't even know about the how the whole China thing is going to impact the scooter market. I didn't think about that actually until just now. So very interesting. Next question. Are you guys ready for the next one?
Sure.
Grenchly, awesome handle, Grenchly. Grenchly asks, any plans to have a thumb throttle option?
Yeah, so we can install thumb throttles. We actually stock them. We don't advertise it. It doesn't seem to be, surprisingly, not a very common thing for folks to ask about. We do have thumb throttles in stock. We can install them. We can install it before your scooter ships, or if you already have your scooter and you want to purchase a thumb throttle, we do have a guide on how to install it. It does require some soldering. It's a little advanced for most people,
Yeah.
and it will eliminate your trigger throttle.
Cool. Cool. So
Um,
go ahead, Nathan.
so Chuck, I guess Tyler, tell a story about why we
Oh,
have thumb throttles.
yeah, yeah. So we were anti thumb throttle. We were in the trigger gang here, and we had a gentleman call us, and he said, I love my scooter, but I have a problem. I'm a military veteran. I am missing, my three fingers here. I only have my index finger and my thumb, and I can't use switch between the brake and the trigger throttle. And so he thought that maybe he could use a thumb throttle a little bit better. So that was the first time we ever did a thumb throttle and figured out how to install one. And so we put a thumb throttle on his unit and sent it out to him. So
And then I told Tyler, make a how-to guide on doing that so we can sell it to other people.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see people are
Yeah.
asking right now, can you link to the throttle and guide? And I know,
Yeah.
like again, like all of a lot of our reviews again, and including probably the one that people are going to see at 6 o'clock. It's like, man, I really wish that there was, a thumb throttle rather than trigger. I personally find it's more ergonomic to like be able to hold the scooter and, use the thumb. And so that's awesome that you guys are offering that. I personally would not solder it myself because I can't fix anything. So I personally would have you guys do. I should have asked for that before we got this one, but I guess it's good for us to test out the same unit that other people will be getting typically. Yeah. But for a lot of our viewers, like a lot of people ask for the the thumb throttle. So, I guess the best way to do that when you're ordering your 09 is it like when you click like to order it, is it like one of the options that come up, or should they write it in the special requests, or how would they do that?
There's a couple ways to do it. If you write it in the notes, make sure you give us a phone number. We can reach out to you. That's usually the best way. If you write in the notes that you want a thumb throttle, we'll invoice it to you, and before it ships. Before you order, you can call us and place your order over the phone, or ask for a custom invoice, and we can do that. Email us. Just contact us, and
We'll figure it out.
We'll get it started for you.
And they can email, and they can call you guys. Where you guys are one of the few that actually answers the phone, that has a phone number on their website.
We have multiple people answering the phone. We all are writers here. We're all a little bit of a part of the family. I'll have to warn the customer service manager that I just said all that, so that
you guys, we'll see. You guys might get a lot of requests for the thumb throttle, and I don't know.
If you call us tomorrow and you get a voicemail, it means we're on the phone.
Cool.
So, yeah, about that, it's a big investment for our business to try to offer this type of customer service, and we do. We've had a guy call 11 times in one day. And we spend 45 minutes to an hour on the phone. That's pretty common. It's a big investment, but it's because we're passionate about this industry, and we're passionate about helping people find the right product for their needs. And we have, 6 different products. And so there's questions, and it's hard to buy online, especially this big of an expense. So having the phone there, having the email, is part of the investment in the business and the growth in the future in customer support and building the brand. And it's working. It's working.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have like 6 full employees.
6.
And
dang.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
probably need for more because the customers don't like to wait.
Well, that's cool. I mean, you guys are very different than most, and I think that if somebody is like, I think of Zero kind of similar to like a car company, where you've got your kind of base models, right, and you got your mid-range, and then you got your high-end, and you have 6 different models that kind of run from about $800, I think, to $2,500, maybe a little more if you include the 11X. That's like the supercar, right, of the line, right? And so it's cool that you have a place that people can just call and say like, hey, here's what I'm dealing with. Here's what's going on with me. What would you recommend? What's the right, Zero model, I guess. So that's, I think that's how I think about you guys as a company, is that you can call, but also it's like a car company like Toyota, where you've got all the whole range of scooters for people. Cool. Let's try to get a couple more questions. We have 7 minutes left before the premiere of the review. Rogue Rider 73 or Rogue Rider is asking 73. I'm not sure which one, but can you replace the handlebars on Zero scooters like a non-folding type of handlebar?
Yeah. So there's a YouTube video, I believe, by Falcon PEV. It does require some pretty heavy modification. You will not be able to reuse your folding handlebars if you want to reverse this, but you can cut the stem and put a stem riser on it and mount standard handlebars on them. Yep.
Okay, cool. Red Jack 56. We're gonna try a rapid fire because we got a few questions that I'd like to help people out with. Red Jack 56. I'm curious why Zero scooters don't have an IP67 rating. I live in Seattle, and we get rain. ?
We live in Vancouver, Washington. We're just south of you. We know too.
Yes.
It's difficult. Anytime you have electronics, it's pretty difficult. And if you put the rating, then everybody expects it and it's waterproof. We'd rather just tell people just be careful in the water. There's a video Falcon Pev released. Again, big shout out to Falcon. I mean, this guy is producing a lot of content to really help the market. But yeah, how to waterproof your Zero scooter, and he goes into the controller, into the battery, everything. So
cool. So there's videos on how they can kind of add silicone or something to some of the parts and get it somewhat waterproofed or resistant.
Yep.
Sounds like okay. And Enrique Chong is asking, is there any Zero meeting / conference coming? Would be nice to meet with other Zero owners.
All right, so we are in the Bay Area and in LA periodically, especially in the summer when there's more events and stuff going on. We really like to get down that area. We would hope to get over to New York and Washington, D.C. That's a huge hub, obviously, for this whole industry. And we'll follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and we will put out feelers when we are ever in that area. We'd love to meet all the customers and have a group ride and stuff like that. If you're anywhere in the Vancouver, Oregon, Washington area, hit us up. We would love to go on a ride with you. There's a group locally here that goes every Friday night.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay. Next question. Shane Hurd. Does REVRIDES add extra nuts to the stem bolts for the 09, or does it come from the factory like that now?
It comes from the factory like that now. I don't remember the exact date that started. You've probably seen there's a Reddit post floating around that always starts this question trend. We did all of our inventory. We added extra fasteners to them as soon as we saw that post, and we contacted the factory, and they immediately started adding extra fasteners. So yes, all 09s are coming with the additional fasteners in the deck.
Cool. One of the things also about Zero, right, as I think you guys are the closest to the factory. So and you guys sell, I think, the most, scooters that are like this. And so I think one benefit, right, is that when there needs to be a change to a scooter, you guys are associated with Falcon PEV, and I think Falcon PEV, from what I understand, Victor's always in the Zero factory making those changes, getting them to you guys first, which is a good thing to have that short, what do you call that, production cycle, or you should know that word, Nathan, right? It's whatever that's called.
A small feedback loop too. Just make sure that when we hear something from a customer, we're immediately. I mean, I talk to Falcon and the factory. I mean, it's probably 3 to 4 nights a week. If we're working on something specifically, it can be every night. But we're talking to them regularly. We know what's going on. And also Zero is a global brand, so we've got feedback from Europe. There's a Europe dealers that go through Falcon, so they hear stuff or they find out something. We're all connected. I was in China at the same time the guys from Europe were there. Met them, had a good time. So yeah.
Cool. We got 2 minutes left, so maybe the last question I'll ask is, what's next for REVRIDES?
Oh wow. So we're looking and moving into a new space. We are expanding and we're running out of space here. So yeah, that's what's new. Tyler, today we went and looked at a space. So hopefully we'll have some exciting news in the next couple months. Launching a new REVRIDE shop.
Okay, a new space as in like physical space, not like the amorphic,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into, weed killer or
No,
something.
no.
No,
Yeah.
we are quickly running out of space in our shop.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah.
that's
Well, I
what
guess it sounds like that's a good thing.
I could have said I was going to go to China, but that trip got canceled. That's also,
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So I need to say thank you very, very much for you guys to be our guinea pig,
Yeah.
first ever, live interview on Skype. I hope it looks like, from just like I'm looking at our numbers right now, we had more viewership than we've ever had in the history of our show. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for answering all the questions from the guests live. I think Tyler and Nathan will be hopefully in the live chat in about like 30 seconds from now. So we'll post the link to the video premiere, which is happening in about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So I'm going to log off with you guys. See if we can do that. So goodbye. Oh, I think we already switched it. Okay. We're off with them. Okay. So yeah, thank you guys all for watching the show today. Boy, it's had these things in my ear for a while. It's 6 o'clock, so jump over to the premiere right now. Until next time, ride safe. And don't forget to wear your helmet. We'll see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.